Ryan, you were involved in a big decision in the 82nd minute with me. Keeper. I gave.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another REFSIX weekly vlog. So this week is the New Year's Day kickoff. So it's the 2nd of January 2023, first game of 2023, and again about managing expectations and overindulging from New Year's Eve. What you're going to see is I've got a very sore throat, so it's very difficult for me to referee, and I have to deal with what is going to be a DOGSO, which is a denying of an obvious goal scoring opportunity this week. And I don't know if I got it right, so stay tuned to the end. Let me know in the comments if you think I got it right or wrong, and what kind of tips and tricks you can give other people about dealing with DOGSO. So that's the main topic of the vlog, but for now, let's get into it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to match day. As you can hear, I still have a very hoarse voice, which is fine. We can deal with it. Too much dancing and singing on New Year's Eve. But it's match day. It's still very wet, and I've not heard from the club. It's 9:30 now. So I'm assuming that the game is on. Like they said, they'd email me or get in contact if a pitch inspection was needed. We've obviously not heard. So therefore, we're assuming it's game on. For the rest of the day, it is pre-match walk, pre-match meal, pack my kit bag. I'll catch you guys in a bit for what will be a first game of 2023. Let's get it. I've done my pre-match walk. I'm still quite chesty. It's quite warm out, so I've been listening to music and I'm very pumped now. I'm ready to go, starting 2023 on a good note. So, as you can see, my kit is all laid out and I've got a few new things that I'm going to take you through today. And this is what I'm packing for an Ishmael South East game. Starting with the usual stuff. Bag for dirty kicks, box of tricks. As you can see, I've got pens, spare watches, chewing gum. Always like to be minty fresh. Cards, gels. Gel. Now, I know a lot of people ask, are these worth it? I think so. So I take half of it before the start of the game and then half at half time, for the simple reason that it makes me feel like a little bit more energy. It means I don't have to have a massive pre-match meal, and it just keeps me going. It's basically quick and simple carbs. I know it recommends taking 3, but I take 1. I do have a spare just in case I'm feeling really fatigued, but I don't like taking them all at once. I take, like I said, half before the game and half at half time, along with these gels as well. So like the nutrition pack that I bring is this. These, in my opinion, are great. Lucozades are, can be quite expensive. You can buy a whole tub of 20 of these for about a £5. They're always on discount on Science and Sport. There's always like a 30% discount as well. So I always have these because I think they're cheaper than Lucozades and I get more of them. And I think they taste better as well. They're not as sweet as Lucozades. So that's the nutrition pack I take and the reasons why. So in terms of the tablets, I'll put it in in this bottle as soon as I get to the ground. And then I'll basically have this and another water bottle. And then by 90 minutes is up. Both will be finished. I just feel like they help me. It stops with, in my opinion, because it's obviously electrolytes, they stop with cramp later on. And obviously as a referee, you're running loads. So that's my little tip for this week. This is going to go into the REFSTech buzzer flags because it just helps the whatever it's called, receiver stay up. Crime sheets, I've tidied this up as well because all of the stuff you've got to keep for the season, I've just put it in a box in one of my drawers over there. 2 pairs of boots and a towel, match socks. I've got I can't even think what this is. Match tops, 3 of them, spares and a long sleeve. Under Armour, short sleeve, long sleeve, under shorts. Obviously the new ones from last week. 2 pairs of shorts. Warm up stuff is a t-shirt and the new mid layer. I finally got my hands on it and I'm buzzing. It looks great, I think. Spare boxes, lovely job, John. And I have got given a new speaker. The poor little Huawei has run its. So I always bring a speaker for my assistants. I know my music taste isn't for everyone, but I put on like the charts and then we can listen to music, get pre-matched and pumped together. So that's all the stuff. I'm going to pack this up. Obviously, we're listening to John's pre-match playlist here. And that is all the stuff I'm going to bring. I'm going to pack this up and then get ready for pre-match. Let's go. Slightly different today. So I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, I only have 1 meal. And that is true. When I'm rushed, I go to sort of a one-step meal. But we've got pasta, pesto, mushrooms, onions, and chorizo. So loads of carbs. Obviously, I'm going to be running for 90 odd minutes. But going forward, I plan on making better pre-match meals, making better decisions during match day. So here we go. The first pre-match of 2023. We're off to a belter. Let's get the show on the road. Okay, so we're here with
Harry Wood.
Ryan Calver, obviously for vibes. Local derby, big game, 90 minutes. How do you think we did?
Really well, really well. I think we dealt with the occasion well. Lots in the game, lots for us to deal with, be present in the moment.
Yeah.
Really good from us.
Yeah. Ryan, you were involved in a big decision in the 82nd minute with me. Keeper. I gave, for a genuine attempt to play the ball, yellow card. Thoughts?
Yeah. Poor decision from the keeper to begin with. He should have just cleared it. Then he realised that he was in trouble. Tried to play the ball, mistimed it. Got the man a yellow card straight on.
So that's the biggest talking point of the game, obviously. Your thoughts from the other side? In terms of like my positioning, was I in a credible position?
I think you're there.
Yeah.
You're there. You've got a good angle on it. Ryan's got his view, his side. You're both there. You can see it in the middle. Take your time. Strong whistle. Deal with what happens.
Yeah. The only thing with it was that if I'd let it go 2 or 3 seconds, guy puts it in the back of the net. But because I blew early, I've got to give the penalty. And the expectation kind of was a red. So it's dealing with expectations. But I thought we did really well as a team. I thought we worked really well in terms of presence. We were there when we needed to be, and we were quiet when we had to be.
100%.
But you enjoyed today?
Great fun.
Where are you next?
I am Lingfield next week.
In the middle.
In the middle.
And we're at Three Bridges
We're
together.
at Three Bridges, so you see him again next week. So yeah, thank you very much for today. I thought we were class. Really enjoyed it. That's a good start to 2023.
Here we go.
Bang.
Very good.
So, back at REFSIX HQ, and obviously we're going to analyse the first game of 2023. One of the big talking points, as you would have heard in my debrief with Ryan and Harry, was DOGSO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through sort of the criteria that you need to look for when giving DOGSO and why I gave a yellow card instead of a red card. But first things first, looking at my stats, 8.81k is considerably low in the game. I know that in the second half I ran a little bit more. That's when the game got a little bit more intense. Looking at my heat map, we can see I spent a lot of time in the central areas, and I need to start thinking about how can I exit left, which is not too concerning because I found that the game was played very much around me rather than through me, which is important because it means I wasn't in the way of the ball, but I need to prepare more for exit left because I'm sure in a couple of weeks it will come and bite me on the bum. Looking at my sprint map though, again, we're getting into all these short dynamic sprints. I'm going to keep hammering this home because it's really important to look at. And it's one of those things that for me, especially looking at the data, I can be like, oh, I did a lot of sprints today. And it's not really anything that like Garmin has ever justified for me. So looking at this, I can see I do lots of short, sharp sprints and a couple of longer sprints as well. But I think for me, those short, sharp ones are me getting into position, being 10 yards ahead or getting into the right position to give me credibility with the players. And it sort of stops any descent really. So that's obviously why I'm going to keep banging that home, probably every single vlog for the rest of the season. Moving on. DOGSO is a big thing, which obviously stands for denying of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. And there are a few factors that we have to consider when given a DOGSO. So DOGSOs in general are, we look for distance. How far away is the player from the goal? Control. Does the player have control of the ball? Or is it likely to regain control of the ball when the foul is made? Defenders. How many covering defenders are going? And direction. which way are they going towards the goal? Have they cut back? Are they going away from goal towards the corner flag? So these are all the things that we have to consider when ticking a DOGSO. And if one of them's not ticked, so for example, if he's heading away from goal, then it can't be a denying of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. In my case, what it was is a player ran round the goalkeeper and the keeper made a commitment to the ground, missed, stood up, and then made a slide tackle, so a genuine attempt to play the ball, and caught the attacker. Now, with the keepers, it's slightly different. So we have 2 or 3 scenarios to look at. We've got 1, did the keeper genuinely try and attempt to play the ball? And if the answer is yes, then it's a yellow card and a penalty. If the answer is no, then it's a red card for not making a genuine attempt to play the ball and basically just swiping him down. And the third one is an upper body offence. So has he pushed or pulled an opponent? And in that case, it's a straight red card because it's in that category of not making a genuine attempt to play the ball. So there are the considerations with the goalkeeper as well. If it's outside of the box, then it's a straight red card. So the one thing that we had to look at in this game was the keeper was in the box and got rounded. The only problem I had was if I'd waited 2 or 3 more seconds, the attacker stands up and puts the ball in the back of the net. I then don't have a massive decision to make. I can sort of talk to the keeper and be like, you're lucky there. Everyone goes off and celebrates. But because I'd given the penalty and I blew my whistle early, it caused the temperature of the game to rise. So moral of the story is delay, and try not to be too trigger happy, because it caused me a lot of aggro in terms of the attacking team then wanted a red card and the penalty. Luckily, they scored the penalty, so it didn't cause me any aggro. But yeah, if there's a tip to take out of this, it's when given those decisions, you've got a lot more time than you think, and take a second to see where the ball is going. If you can play an advantage, there was no assessor, but if you play an advantage in that situation, you're going to be God's greatest gift in the assessor's eyes, really. But that has been sort of like a quick overview of DOGSO. If you want a longer version with a few clips and stuff, let us know in the comments down below, and we'll make a whole video about different types of DOGSO, what to look for, and more graphical examples. But for now, that's the end of this week's vlog. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you at the next REFSIX weekly vlog.